All right, welcome back to day 5 of the New-vember challenge. I got in a really interesting watch. The inspiration for this movie came from horrible reviews. I think he did a review of this film. It's called A Tale of Two Sisters, 2003, and it's directed by Kim Ji-woon, who did I Saw the Devil, which is a fantastic serial killer film. Great movie. I Saw the Devil. And this is no exception either. This is a fantastic movie. Highly recommend A Tale of Two Sisters. It's about a young girl who, it's a South Korean film, but it's a young girl that returns home from having spent time in a mental institution to her father and now her stepmother. She's got a sister, and the family is just dysfunction junction. And the film vacillates between reality and fantasy. At times, you're not sure where the reality begins and ends, and where the fantasy begins and ends. It's a beautiful film, beautifully shot, fantastic musical score. The house that they live in actually becomes a character, which I think is a tribute to the director and the camera work. Uh, the girl. I mean, it's clear from the onset that this young girl has problems with her stepmother, and a lot of it. I mean, as you see the film progress, a lot of it is very reasonable. And her, I mean, she's the stepmother is really kind of an evil bitch, and the father is just kind of a non factor in this. He's blissfully ignorant about what's going on in the house and the dynamic between the stepmother and the two daughters. Um, and then as the film unfolds, you find out a little bit more and more about the backstory and why these things are happening. Although, honestly, the film never really resolves itself, which is kind of fine with me. I mean, it's I'm not sure that some of these things can get resolved. It's almost like really any kind of a family uh, dysfunction. It's many familiar dysfunctions tend to not ever get resolved to the satisfaction of everybody, and that real world case is no different in this movie. Um, beautiful film, a tense film, psychological thriller, bordering on horror. I mean, I don't know that this is true horror film. I think it's more of a psychological melodrama than it is horror. But what the children go through, that dynamic between them and the stepmother is it's awful, and it does border on horror. And what's interesting about the film, there's so many facets to this. You None of the characters are one dimensional, and that what I'm saying is the evil stepmother is not just an evil stepmother. She has legitimate issues as well, and she has moments where you feel empathy for her. Besides the fact that she's evil, and most of the I mean, I mean that's what I like about this film is the characters are very complex and multifaceted. They're not just one dimensional characters where you once they set their actions in the film, that's it. It's much more complex than that. Although I would say that the father is pretty one dimensional. I mean, he just goes through the world blissfully ignorant. All he wants is peace and harmony within the house, and he doesn't really want to address or deal with the dynamic going on between his children and his stepmother, or what's precipitating it. So he's just, I think he kind of is a one note, but everybody else I think is very complex in how they deal with this issue. Great movie, fantastic movie, highly recommend it. I saw it on Canopy, but I believe Criterion has a Blu-ray as well, and I think there's a European Blu-ray that I would. If Arrow puts out a Blu-ray of this, it's a must own. I think if they haven't already, I need to check and see because this is one that, of all the watches so far, day 1 through 5, this is one I want to buy and have in my collection. Fantastic film, highly recommended. I give it a 9 out of 10. I probably would have given it a 10, except I would like to have seen maybe some clarity and resolution. I just kind of feel like this this film this film almost begs you and requires you to watch it multiple times. I just don't know if you're ever going to get to the uh, resolution on some of this stuff, which is kind of frustrating in a way. It's good, but it's frustrating anyway. So yeah, I thought it was fantastic. As you can see, it definitely affected me. It's a thought provoking film, and I highly recommend it. If you've seen A Tale of Two Sisters, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.